Welcome to where I poop. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're going to patina a wand. So this is a wand, an orgonite wand that I fashioned internally. It is a mixture of shungite. It's like a proprietary orgonite blend that I work with. So base is shungite, Herkimer diamonds, a few other wonderful gemstones all blended up, and I also have angel aura in here. So this is a Reiki healing wand. There's been a lot that's been coming through from healing a lot of Atlantis, and so as a result is part of that is wand making and using these for healing abilities, especially for our chakras and our energies. So today I'm going to be patinaing this, and so this is step one of what it looks like beforehand. Little crystal quartz point on the tip. Now it was laid in a little crooked just because of the way it worked, but yeah. But it did end up turning out pretty cool looking. I like it. Today we got the download to do the patina, so I'm gonna start the patina now. So with this guy, I liked the polished look. Originally, this is just it's a 1/4 inch brass pipe and fittings I just got from Home Depot. I think total was maybe $7 or $8, and this crystal actually came from I bought a dragon skull and it came in as a free gift, and when I saw it I was like, ooh, fairy wand. And I put it off for a while. I hadn't made a fairy wand for a while, so I was like, I need to build an inner child wand. And the inner child wand ended up turning into now a Reiki healing wand, okay? So here's the beginning. First thing that I did was I actually got some isopropyl alcohol. There we go. 91% is what I used. Isopropyl alcohol just to get rid of all of the industrial grease, the industrial oil and grime that's built up on it. That's important because when you get these, it does have a natural like lubricant on the threads, and then it's just got machine oil, machine grease on it. And so what I do is I hit it with some 91% isopropyl alcohol and a little bit of some soap and water. The other thing you can do is you can do baking soda and water with a little bit of steel wool to take it down, which I actually might do. I think I'm going to do that just to see if I can get a little bit more of this grime down. The other thing too is if you have a tool and you want to like shave these letters down, you can. I personally didn't matter. This is like my first time building a wand out of brass. I did get some copper fittings too. Copper is a lot more conductive of a material, but brass is equally as conductive, right? So I think it goes brass, or it's a nickel, brass, copper, silver, gold. And so it was like when it comes to conductivity, so I was like, why not brass? I like brass. It's got a little bit more of a masculine feel. Once again, I couldn't find any 1/4 inch copper, but I have 1/2 inch copper, so I'll be building some 1/2 inch copper stuff pretty soon. So anyway, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go take the baking soda to it. Baking soda and some steel wool, and let's see if I can clear a little bit of this already natural kind of patinaing process to see if we can just get some extra layers off before we run it through the process. All right, so I actually skipped out on doing the baking soda. Just was doing some research. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna keep it as it is. So what my intention here is I'm gonna keep the brass fittings nice and brass, and then I'm gonna hit the patina on here. So I've got some white vinegar and salt in a, you shake it till you make it. White vinegar and salt. Just 1 part iodized salt, just like maybe like a teaspoon or so, and then the rest in white vinegar. So we're just gonna spray this down. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the body of the wand, and then I'm gonna wipe off these ends to make sure we don't have any patina. Then I'm gonna let it sit for a couple hours and we'll see how she looks. Alrighty, so here we go. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna spray the barrel and try to keep the end caps as nice as possible. So here we go.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it on camera, right? It's because everyone's gotta see it. Everyone's gotta see what you're doing here.
I forgot. Sorry guys. This is the boring part of the process. So what I'm thinking about doing now too, I'm actually gonna pour some salt on this.
Don't pour salt on the wound.
What wound? There are no wounds here. I'll be right back.
So there it is. You have to spray down, and I poured a little salt directly on it because I've done this with copper before, but I haven't quite done it with brass. So we're just gonna go ahead and let that sit. Let's go ahead and close her up. Give her a couple hours to think about what she's been doing. Welcome to my lair. Okay, so we have completed the wand. So we have it sitting here. on the ground doing what it's doing. So evidently it's going to take about maybe, I don't know, 1 to 2 to 8 hours for fulfillment. We'll keep checking in. But as with any great project, with any great magic, there needs to be an emotional meltdown. So let's go ahead and start that.
What the fuck have you been doing with your life, man?
Listen, it wasn't my fault. It was Pluto retrograde. Chiron, you salty... No, it's just Saturn expressing its limitation. Blame it on the Dark Lord. Okay, I think we're done there. Did you hear the joke about the Spanish magician? Yeah, he held his wand and counted uno, dos, and then poof, he left without a trace. What's a Hogwarts student's favorite band? One Direction. I just found the wand of transfiguration. This changes everything. Why don't wizards get lost? They follow the wanderer's path. What did the wizard say to the owl? Who are you? Why don't wizards trust stairs? Because they're always up to something. What's a lazy wizard called? A snorcer. Alrighty, so we're about an hour in, so let's just go ahead and check on it, see how it looks. Ooh, so far, looking pretty steezy here. You can see, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have to do some touches. So, it's funny, remember how we were like, we're gonna get the body, and those are, yeah, went a little bit opposite. So what I'm gonna do now, I like that. I like how it's slowly starting to patina. I'm gonna keep this side up. I'm gonna do another little spray down right now. Add a little bit more salt and just like kind of let that sit. So we're gonna do 1 hour intervals. Just keep checking the patina, wipe it down, and just kind of, just have fun. The whole idea here is, not taking this thing too seriously, having fun, enjoying ourselves, enjoying our lives, because magic can be loving, magic can be fun, and magic can be awesome. All right, so now we're just gonna do another little sprinkle from oh, no, wait a minute. Get it how you live it, 10 toes down. I'm a big stepper under. Oh man, TikTok has gotten in my head. All right. Back to the heart, Corey, back to the heart. Don't listen to social media. All right, so I just kind of did another layer of salt. Why not? Do another little spray. You know what, let's just go ahead and do this on all levels of our journey. Let's just, come on. What's alchemy without a little bit of madness? Just kidding, guys. Keep it peaceful in the eye of the storm. Keep it peaceful. Stay positive. Soul fam, stay positive. We're just pouring salt on things. That's all this is. This isn't evil. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, so we're gonna let that sit in there. Let that soak. I'm gonna go ahead and close this up. We'll come back in about another hour or two and see how it looks. Well, let me see. Let me do another little spritz through. A little spritz through. You're staying there. There we go. Right on. So we'll close that up. Ooh, it stinks. It smells like battery acid. Gross. Alright, we'll be back.
Well, it's been a few hours since we started the patina, and Corey got humbled. Here's why I got humbled. Obviously, I didn't read things clearly, and it was having a difficult time patinaing only after a few hours. So I looked up a little bit more information and recognized that you're not supposed to be applying the solvent directly to the brass. You're supposed to let the solvent and salt sit in the container and then elevate it and create like an aeration. So it's the fumes itself, not the actual contact, that creates the tarnish and or the quote-unquote patina. So when I rinsed it off, it looked really like brown and spotty. It looked a lot more rustic. And I was like, so what came through? A little bit of disappointment,
a little bit of, you know, like, yeah, I was having fun and like, you know, having fun and doing my thing, but then this like kind of like, you know, this humbling comes through. All of it learning, all of it learning. So I now have it suspended here with some wire just to kind of let it do its thing. So it looks like like a leopard gecko. Looks like a leopard gecko, and it's a little bit more like brown than it is green. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of let this sit overnight. See how it looks in the morning, and we'll bring it forward from there. Either way, right? Like, this is all learning, right? It's learning. This isn't mastery overnight and perfection overnight. Either way, it was fun. It was fun making the video. It was really just a good time having fun. And also, I got to finish this wonderful necklace in the meantime too. So this is a mala that I built for myself. I originally had pyrite actually up where all the gold spacers are, and I threw magnets on. So I wanted something that could help to support my torus field, and then of course too added that little malachite with the magnets right at the beginning. So initially where all the gold was all pyrite, and so it was just kind of like this just sturdy mala. Had Amazonite in the front that was helping to kind of calm and for the heart space. And this was something I'd wear after the gym just to help me calm down, and something when I wanted to walk around town and needed to feel a little bit more support. Today, I added the magnets to the malachite to support the heart field, and then just kind of built all the magnets back into it and just kind of sitting with it. So, you know, one thing doesn't work out and another thing does. Either way, it's getting late. Time to just kind of kick back and relax. So thank you guys again for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Links are in the description box. We'll see what shows up tomorrow. I might post pictures at the end of this movie and then post it. I might just post the pictures online. So we'll see. Either way, grateful for the experience. Glad I got to have some fun. Now it's just time to unwind, relax, and enjoy a little bit of self-care and self-love while the night closes out. All right. So I love you guys. And with that, I'll see you soon. Ciao. Good morning, everybody. So, yeah, I got sunlight coming through. So it's the next morning. Had an interesting thing happen with the wand last night. Let me do a little flip here, and I'll explain to you guys what's been going on. All right, so last night I found out through some brief research that patina is done through fumigation, not through direct contact. So late last night, I went ahead and I just like cleared everything off and was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it to fumigate overnight. And it had a really wonderful patina. Well, just a few minutes ago, I was like, let me rinse it off with water. I rinsed it off with water and all of it fell off. So obviously it's not turning out the way I had liked, which is kind of one of those things where it's just learning of the journey, but we're not going to give up. So I'm going to go ahead and I got work today, so I'm going to go ahead and toss this back into the vault with the vinegar and salt, and we'll go ahead and just leave that in there for a few more hours, bring it out, and then I'll see what I can do about trying to keep the patina on. You know, since this is an object that I'm going to be holding, the reason why I rinsed it was just so I could get a lot of that built-up oxidation off. So I'm going to do a little bit more research to see how I can keep it on. Perhaps there's some sort of finish or coating I can throw over it to keep it, because it was nice and green and blue this morning, but, you know, oh well, that's the way life works. So there's the first update. I'll go ahead and throw this back in the container, and we'll see how she flies. All right, so we're back, and so what I found out just by looking in a little deeper is that so since this is plumbing brass, it does have a natural lacquer put on it. Once again, another part of learning. So when you go to Home Depot and you're buying any of these plumbing supplies, there's a natural lacquer that keeps it from tarnishing. So basically what I did was I looked up ways to be able to remove the lacquer coating. I don't want to do the boiling water with baking soda for obvious reasons, because the glue will dislodge from the crystal here, and that will just completely tear it apart. So what I chose to do was to get my handy dandy Dremel and at a very low speed just lightly file down this lacquer. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up now. We'll kind of go ahead and go into a fast forward to finish this up, and then we'll throw this in for a couple hours and see how she looks.
So I will say this, I made a lot of jokes yesterday, and some of them came true, especially in regards to alchemy. Like, I could feel the pressure, I could feel the resistance, I could feel kind of like, you know, that older kind of Merlin, just like frustrated and grumpy old man kind of a feeling. And so with that, I was like, you know what, I really need to sage this, right? Because a lot of this, I know, as I'm doing this and I'm creating a healing wand, it's going to help me with healing things, healing stuff from my bloodline, healing soul experiences, healing energy. But I chose now to also to just go ahead and Palo Santo it, to go ahead and give it a little sage so we could clear it. And then today, I'm going to keep this in the sun. So I'm actually going to put it in the container in the sun. I'm going to place it in the container right now, and just allow Mother Nature and the solar energetics to come into this. It's really important to allow the plasmas to melt and to bring in a little bit more light and joy into this experience, because even though yesterday I was having fun and doing the joking around and stuff, there's also you know, an important part of elemental and alchemical balance in this journey, which is why, you know, bringing this back to Mother Nature and in the sun, bringing it back to Logos is going to be really, really important. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this back in the container. We'll leave it for a few hours and see how it shows up. Alrighty, so we got just this final step. We got the solution still in there from last night. Go ahead and leave it there. There we go. Close the lid. And I can do this with one hand. Oh gosh. The joys of making content. Alright, there we go. I'll say, we're gonna find a lot more of an efficient way of doing this next time, right kids? Alright. Alright, there we go. So we'll let that sit for a couple hours and we'll see what shows up. Alright, so here we are. It's looking pretty marvelous. You know, I'm gonna leave it in for a little bit longer. It's really, really, really kind of it's looking green. I like it. It reminds me of like moss on a log. I personally enjoy the patina. I like the color. Definitely did have a few little like meltdown moments. I kind of just got done with a few healing those reversals and those kind of like harder moments. So it's really funny. I mean, it's not funny. I don't think having harder pathways and difficulties is funny, but it just goes to show that when we start doing what we're doing and stepping into our craft and stepping into our creation, that these kinds of things can come up. So that's it, guys. I honestly feel like this patina process is just gonna keep going, and I don't want this video to be hours long of just like refinement, retuning. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to kind of play with creation. You know, at the end of the day, this is something that I might just end up just giving back to Mother Earth and letting it be there. You know, it's just one of those things that there's a lot of shifts going right now in regards to creation and magic, and the power of magic and what we do with it. And sometimes it's best to just give it back to Gaia and allow Gaia to take care of it, allow Mother Earth to handle the experience. Helps the human to get out of the way, to the least complicated route, and to make an easier life. Either way, I am grateful that this wand is complete. I'm grateful for being able to make this video and to make this transmission, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. Enjoy, laugh, play. You know, if you're gonna click subscribe to something, subscribe to the inner child having a really beautiful life, having fun, you know, experiencing happiness, experience love, life, abundance, and just enjoying. If there's anything you need to subscribe to your inner joy. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll see you soon.